What's up, guys? Intelitech Studios here, and this is a special vacuum that I bought specifically because, not of any reason, the Eureka Mighty Mite that you can see slightly off screen I've been using for years, and it has served me very well for the $8 I spent on it. But I was live streaming the other day, as some of you may know, and this machine popped up on eBay as I was scrolling through. I wasn't even searching for it specifically, I just happened to find it. And, well, everyone in the chat told me to buy it, so I did. And apparently it's such a good deal that there was no real reason for me to not buy it. And Rocco, what are you doing? You know what, Rocco? That's it. I'm going to put you right there. Hi. Hey, Bubby. Hi, Bubby. Hi, Bubby. Hi, Bubby. Hi, Bubby. What? What? You're on my box, sir. You're on my box. You're on my box. What are you doing? What are you doing? Ooh. Sir. No, sir, this is a family show. What are you doing? What are you doing? I know I put you up here, but are you just going to stand there? Okay. Yes. Feel free to guard the box as I open it, but please, I don't want you to get too close. I don't want you to lose a whisker. Nope. We are not going to have sliced potato today. I'm also cutting the box with the utmost of safety. Okay. Potato, no. No, okay, I'm gonna flop you so you're out of the way. Okay. So now we're going to open oh. Hey, there we are. There's some bits of something in here. Alright, now we can finally move our knife out of the way so I don't have to worry about slicing a potato. Especially a potato that just turned 1. I know, what a good boy. What a good boy. Okay. But, looks like we've got this. Oh, sir! Don't grab my hand. Alright. So we've got a hose. Make sure this is still filming. We've got genuine bags. And a fair bit left too, which is nice. Can always use some more bags. We've got a turbo airbrush, excuse me. This looks awful. These bristles are very thin and very soft and not very dense. Actually, kind of reminds me of a Dyson brush roll. And it looks like we've got some stuff falling out of it. Some dirt or something. But the wheels are in good shape. There's the connector. Alright. We've got a hose. Very big, beefy hose. And finally, not much in the way of packaging, honestly. And a lot of dirt and stuff in the box. But here it is. We've got a Henry. So, this is a Numatic Henry. And it smells awful. Alright. So, it's got a handle, which is it supposed to feel like that? It feels kind of weird. We've got a retractable cord, which is actually really nice. It's a retractable cord, but it's a manual retract, which is such a good idea because you don't have to worry about any mechanical. I mean, I guess technically this is mechanical, but you don't have to worry about any mechanism breaking. It's actually a really good idea. Of course, there is dirt and dust all over this. I understand this was a good deal, but like, you can't wipe down the outside for 2 seconds with some wipes and some wipes, you know? Well, I guess we'll do that for them if I can find the disinfecting wipes. Might not be the most elegant way to wipe off one of these, but it'll do. Just so I don't have to touch all this stuff. But I guess before we do that, we'll... Yeah, this hose is really scratched. I don't know how people do this. But again, this was the cheapest Numatic. Very crunchy. Numatic International Limited. It has an input to plug in an electric nozzle. This was made in England, which is nice. Made in the UK. I don't have any other real vacuums made in the UK besides my UK sold Dyson DC-04. So I assume, much like a shop vac, you press these, and I assume that lets you lift this up, maybe? Oh no, these pull out, okay. So these pull out. There's the motor and all of that. Is this a filter? This is very dirty. This looks like a filter to me. Probably gonna replace that because that looks pretty bad. And we've got a bag in here with coarse debris in the chamber, which isn't ideal. Ooh, got some dust puffed out of there. So there is a bag, although it's not a HEPA bag, even though there's HEPA bags that came with this. There's a lot of dirt in here as well. I wonder if someone used this without a bag. Well, on the bright side, I've already got Rocco. No, Dusty. It's gonna hurt Potato. On the bright side, I've got another canister right here. So we'll use the Eureka Mighty Mite to maybe clean this up a little bit. Let me grab a dusting brush for it. Let's see if we can do something with that. Alright, so we've got all that. So I paid $75 for this. For some reason, it's missing the wands. I'm not sure how you lose the wands, but not the turbo brush. Although I am glad this has a turbo brush with it, because realistically, I would have never bought this myself, because this looks awful. But a lot of people say that it's good to have this. But we'll see how it actually is. I've always wanted to try one of these. I was also under the impression that this face piece was removable, but apparently it's not. For some reason, I thought it came on a plastic piece that you could like pull off. Apparently that's not a thing. At least not on this model. Maybe that's on the newer ones. Because I assume this one's an older model. I don't know very much about these. I'm very new to pneumatics and Henrys and all that. They're not super popular here in the States. Although over in England and Britain and stuff, they're relatively common. I mean, technically I could just wash this. I don't even really have to vacuum it out. I could just wash this. But I want to actually try this, make sure the motor runs okay. So we're gonna vacuum this out real quick with the Mighty Mite. get this bag back in here. Okay. And then I don't think this filter isn't washable, is it? It doesn't look washable to me. It looks like I'd have to change this. So does it go in, it goes in like that, right? It's supposed to line the inside of that. See, the inside of this doesn't look too bad. And I'm still going to try to clean that because I don't want to get dust in this motor. Turbo brush actually seems to work pretty good. I forgot that the Henry, just like this Mighty Mite, is 1.25 inch, which is actually good because it means I can use my Mighty Mite wands on this in the meantime before I get actual wands, if I decide to get actual wands, which I very well may. Alright, now let's put this thing back together, which I assume goes on a certain way. Isn't it supposed to sit a certain way? Or does it just lock in? Is that all there is to it? Feels like it's on. Alright. And I'll grab that aforementioned disinfecting wipe and try to clean up a little bit of this and make it somewhat presentable. Again, nothing too crazy. There's some paint marks on this, but I'm sure they'll come off with a little bit of alcohol on a rag. There's this little clip right here. I'm not sure what this clip does. Honestly, this turbo brush, I was going to say this turbo brush looks like it hasn't been used very much because there's no hair in it and the brush is very clean, but there are some deep scratches on the brush itself, so I'm not quite sure about that. And there's still some scuffs on the brush itself, on the actual nozzle, but the wheels are in immaculate shape on this nozzle, so I definitely didn't use it very much. Even the main wheels on this, the rubber coated wheels, are quite nice. And they're nice and rubber coated. It's got casters in the front, although those ride on hard plastic. Hopefully this, you know, is a design that theoretically shouldn't scratch bare floors or anything like that, so that's nice. I've heard a lot of good things about these pneumatics, but I've never tried one myself. I was planning on trying one, or at least seeing if I could try one whenever I was in Denver, but that didn't work out. But I now own one, so whether or not I like it, I own one, and we will see if I like it and it stays in the collection, or if I hate it and end up selling it on. Good news is I've gotten some offers from my good friend Dual Cyclonic to inquire this machine should I not like it for whatever reason. So I pretty much got a guaranteed out. I guess the only way that wouldn't be the case is if this thing is completely dead or runs like crap, but we'll see. I'm hoping it runs okay. I actually don't remember what these sound like or know at all what these sound like. I think I watched a performance reviews video on one of these many years ago, but it wasn't actually a review of it. It was like a compilation of cleaning performance of various vacuums, and this happened to be in with them. So I actually don't know what this is supposed to sound like. I can only assume that this hose screws on. I was right. That's very cute. His hose is the nose. Or I should say, his nose is the hose. I think I said that backwards, but you get the idea. I'm trying to clean this up a little bit so it's somewhat okay. We've got this interesting edged nozzle. I believe that is correct. So there's supposed to be a bend, like a metal bent wand that's very small, and then two longer metal extension wands. I actually don't like metal wands because they scratch the crap out of a lot of tools usually, but I don't see any scratches on the inside of this, so maybe this implementation is better. Who knows? But yeah, this is a clean slate. Like I never used one of these, never seen one in person, nothing. I'm completely new to the Numatic entities. So I'm gonna unplug the Mighty Mites. I actually don't know if this is, I don't know if this is on or off. I actually don't know. It is not obvious based off the switch whether this is on or off. So we're gonna plug this in and see if it turns on. Oh, turn that off. Okay. Also, isn't there supposed to be a HEPA filter in here somewhere? I'm actually not sure. I see exhaust vents on the back, but I'm not sure. But let's see if this works. Is this in frame? Yes, it is. Okay, there we go. Wow, this thing is incredibly quiet. I'm extremely impressed with how quiet this is. I did not remember what this sounded like. Let's see, does this random Kirby attachment fit on this? Not really. It's kind of loose in there. Let's see. Let's see if I can find those wands, and maybe we can do something with this turbo brush. So I'm gonna look real quick and see if I can find those wands. So I couldn't find the wands for my Mighty Mite. I know they're somewhere, but I also didn't look that hard. But I literally had two random, I think this is from an old Hoover wind tunnel, and this is from a newer Dirt Devil Power Max. So, kind of jank, but this should it actually kind of fits on there with the Hoover wand, but I don't really want it to scratch it, so I'll see if it fits with the Dirt Devil wand. It actually doesn't, so I got that right the first time. I think I've got my wind tunnel. I've got my wind tunnel over here. Let me take the wand off of that, and we'll just do that with the wand. So there's that turbo brush, and we'll put that on. Kind of jank, that it works. I probably could put another wand on. Let me actually go grab, I think I've got one over here. Alright. So I found this short one. No idea what this goes to. This is just in my parts bin of random accessories that are from machines that I either don't know what they go to or I don't have the machine anymore. It's actually a little bit too tall at this point now. But you know what? I'm good with that. So there's our little turbo brush and our very tangled hose. But these do have swiveling joints, so I should be able to straighten this out. Maybe. Maybe not. Quite interesting. Alright. So, got this quite tall amalgamation of things. I'm actually wondering, I think this second one might not be necessary. It's still kind of jank. Actually, that should be okay. Alright. So, we've got the little turbo brush on here. I'm actually not sure of a good way to test this, but actually, you know what? Who am I kidding? I'm overthinking this. Oh, that just popped out. Put that back on. We'll just go ahead and run it and see how well this does with the little turbo brush on my relatively thick carpet. So, this thing definitely is super quiet. That turbo brush obviously is not appropriate for my carpets, but the fact that it sucked up some sand beads that I had on the ground from earlier today when I relatively thoroughly vacuumed with my V8 is kind of impressive. Yes, the V8 isn't a full upright replacement, so I didn't expect it to do great anyways, but for a straight suction canister, I mean a turbo power head canister, it getting some debris that a motorized head didn't get, even if it's on a cordless, is still something worth noting. So what I'm going to do is, just out of curiosity, I actually found the potato flakes that I used to use for my pickup tests that for some reason I stopped doing. I'm going to put some of those down and just see how well this little turbo head on this Henry cope with it. Just for fun, to see what it does. Alright, so we've got some potato flakes and a couple extra little balls of dryer lint. So we will see how well it can cope with that with this turbo nozzle. So it's snowplowed a good fair bit, but obviously it's a lightweight nozzle. You could pick it up and just put it over it. I know this is something I usually don't do till I do the full review, but considering this is a turbo nozzle, it actually did a fair job. So interesting. But I also went really slow, probably because I know this thing isn't designed for my relatively medium-ish, thick-ish tile carpets. So one little fun fact is I've got a hole in my carpet right over here. I'm going to try pushing the debris in there, and we're going to see if it can pull the potato flakes out of that hole. Now it's white on white, so it might be kind of hard to see, but I'm just curious. See how good the airflow is. Hey, there we go. Wow. So it sucked up the 2 clumps of lint, no problem. There's no hair wrap on this, although I just vacuumed with my Dyson V8, so I don't expect there to be any hair. But nevertheless, still, I'm impressed. For what this is, I imagine if I got an actual motorized nozzle, this would actually be a pretty effective machine. So, yeah. And it got everything out of that crack, no problem. So, yeah, I mean, I really like this thing so far. I don't really have any reason to disagree with the common consensus about how nice of machines these are, because so far I don't really have very many complaints. Now, I haven't moved the canister around a whole lot, but I have a hard time believing it'd be worse than something like a Zing or a Mighty Mite. But again, I will test this more thoroughly. This will eventually get a full review, just like everything else on this channel. And I also noticed the airbrush doesn't match. It's orange, whereas the main machine is red. That's kind of strange. But nevertheless, I really like this thing. It's quite nice. And if anyone is familiar with how to serial date these, I'd love to know. I mean, the beginning of the serial number says 03411. I'm not sure if that means the 41st week of 2003. I'm not sure if that's true or not. If it is, then that's very impressive that this thing is old enough to drink and still works. Or almost old enough to drink and still works. But, yeah, regardless, quite a nice machine. Again, if someone knows how to properly serial date these, if I'm reading that wrong, then please correct me. But, yeah. So, for those wondering, I scored this on eBay. Let me grab one of my other phones just to show you. Now, this one I actually got alongside 2 Bissell's. This one I actually got besides or at the same time as 2 Bissell's. So this will be the least familiar of what you will expect to see over the next coming days. There's a brand new Bissell that's sealed in the box that I'll be unboxing soon. And also, there is one that I actually got over a month ago from another vacuum collector that's also a Bissell, but a much older Bissell that I forgot to open, and that's obviously my bad. But if I go to my eBay and to my purchases, you can see, once I show you at least, that, again, trying not to show any personal information, but this was $75. Obviously, after shipping and everything, it was $128 and some change. So $128, basically less than 130 bucks, because shipping was actually about the same as the machine itself. or just under. I think the shipping was like $50. So, yeah, I mean, I really don't have any complaints. Sure, it would have been nice if they had taken 2 seconds to wipe the machine down. But I mean, maybe that saved me $20. Who knows? I was actually considering, because they had it listed for $75 and they had offers available. And I was about to offer 50, but then I said to myself, I'm not going to do this, especially because I was streaming when I got this. I didn't want someone else to swoop in and grab it. So I just bit the bullet and grabbed it, and frankly, I have no regrets. For $128 for the machine with the turbo brush, yes, it's missing the wands, the handle grip, and the small tools, but the fact that it has everything else, and the fact that it has a 10-pack of bags, although I guess I don't technically know if there's 10 in here, but there wasn't a HEPA bag in here for some reason. There was a paper bag in here, so I'm actually not sure how many are in here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, 1, 2, 3. 1. These are folded really weird. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, no, 4, 5. So this either is 9 or 10 bags. So it's either all 10 or it's one short of 10 bags. And I don't know off the top of my head how much a pack of these cost. I don't think they're actually cheap. I'm pretty sure that's the one complaint, is I'm pretty sure these bags are expensive, but I could be thinking of a different brand. So don't quote me on that. Again, there's some dirt in the box. Not the cleanest thing in the world. There's a bunch of dirt in the shipping box as well. That obviously was knocked loose from this thing, but am I gonna complain? Not really. Not really. I guess technically I'm complaining, but it's worth it. Again, if them not taking the 2 seconds to clean it saved me $20-30 or potentially more, then yeah, no complaints. I'll happily save, 20-30 odd bucks to just wipe the thing down with my own wipe, because now it looks fine. I just wiped it down. That's all I did. I haven't even got the paint marks off yet. Frankly, the paint marks aren't even that bad. I almost don't even care to bother taking the paint marks off. But yeah. Nevertheless, that's the Henry, the Numatic Henry. So this is a Numatic, it's a Nace Care Numatic Henry, whatever you call it. According to this, it's model number HVR-200 or HVR-200, HVR space 200. So I'm not sure if that means there's supposed to be a dash in between there or not. I'm not sure. And this one came from North American Cleaning Equipment in Toronto, Canada. And that's info at NaceCare, or info at naceinc.com. And it's double insulated too. It's also a nice commercial grade vacuum cable. It feels exactly like the cable that's on my Big Green, but it's also still just a polarized plug. It's not grounded, so you don't have to worry about trying to find a grounded prong if you're in a very old building, which is nice. Even if the ground, I like having the ground personally, but there is an advantage to not having the ground, and that's, better compatibility. But I'd rather it be grounded because they make ground to polarized adapters. I just realized this isn't polarized either. This isn't polarized at all. It's just a standard plug. I wonder if there's a reason for that, but I'm sure it's fine. I've never heard anyone complain about safety on one of these. So yeah, I'm not complaining one bit. I'm just kind of gushing about this thing at this point because I never had one of these, and now I finally do. So let me know what videos you want to see with this cute little guy. He's got a very happy face. I don't know. Anyways, this is Intelitech Studios signing out with my acquisition video of my $75 or $128, however you want to define it, Henry. So it works great. I was kind of worried because when I opened the motor, or not opened the motor, but when I looked at the intake for the motor had a bunch of rust on it. but it doesn't. You can't tell from running it. It still sounds buttery smooth. With how good it sounds now, I can't imagine it would sound any better if it was new. And if it is, then honestly, I'm shocked because this thing is nice and quiet, and I really have no complaints. So yeah, that's it. This was Intelitech Studios signing out with my acquisition of the Henry, the Nacecare Henry, Numatic Henry, whatever you want to call it. Numatic Henry, I guess, is the technical terminology. Was it? What did I say? HVR-200. Yeah. So anyways, this is Intelitech Studios signing out. Have a good one. Peace, and let me know your thoughts on this machine in the comments below.